am Carmen, your divine synergist of Heart's Joy. I empower you to understand why you're here and how to live on purpose and in divine harmony. I interweave numerology, angel guides, astrology, theta healing, and coaching to guide you along your spiritual journey. Every week, we have a discussion, and this week's discussion is what you can do right now, no matter how you're feeling. And speaking how you're feeling, let's see that for those who are joining live, please share in the comments how you're feeling right now. So drop one of those mind-blown emojis if you're struggling. Drop one of those emojis where you're kind of shrugging your shoulders if you aren't sure what the heck is happening and you need a hug. Drop a wave emoji, and I'm saying the ocean wave emoji if you're just riding the waves right now. And drop a heart emoji if you're living life and loving it. I want to hear from those who are joining us live. How are you feeling right now? Division is in our face every single day, and it's only going to get worse until we choose to come together. Now, you're probably saying, Carmen, that sounds horrible. It's going to get better. And this is a test. So this is a test of how we humans are going to show up. What lessons have we learned over the thousands of years of this division, of what we're experiencing right now? Because P.S., by the way, we co-created this whole thing together. Whether you choose to take responsibility or not is really up to you. It helps when you take responsibility. And when we finally choose to come together, that is when things are going to shift. And the reality people are focused on, and this is my experience right now, the reality that a lot of people are focused on is fear. And they don't care that they're creating division. Heck, most of them don't even know that they're creating division. Because in their mind, they're creating safety, or as some have told me, it's a healthy boundary. Okay? And so just think about this. Just start to notice it. If you haven't become aware of it already, I do have a visitor with us today. Treasure's with us visiting for those who are live. So, you want to say hi? So I'm just asking, be aware currently, and just start to notice it. I get a lot of invitations now. If you're vaccinated, if you're this, if you're that, and I got to tell you, I don't ask questions. And I choose for there to not be a division or there to be a line. And it's, for me, reminiscent of the blacks versus the whites. And seeing that, because I saw it in history books, and here now it's live and in person, it's just a different thing that we're focused on. So, division. And not everybody is handling it well. A lot of people are struggling. They're succumbing to the pressure, and it's just becoming too much for people. So 3 things that I'm going to cover in today's discussion. The first one is mental health. The second one, I'm going to talk about the Lionsgate energy portal and how it impacts us, because that is one way that we're co-creating our life. And by the way, it's impacting you whether you're aware of it or not. And the third item I'm going to talk about is what you can do right now, no matter how you're feeling. And frankly, no matter where you are in your spiritual journey. So the first one is mental health, mind, body, and spiritual. For me, it's all 3 things. Now, I've had some people come to me and say, it feels like it's the end of the world. Well, it feels like this because of the shifts. And in order to build and create a new infrastructure that frankly supports these 5th dimensional energies, that it started to come in a couple of years ago. The old structures must come down. They must. They must fall away in order to build and create something new. And the Bible talks about the end of days in the very last chapter of the Bible, Revelations. And to that I say, absolutely, it is the end of days. Absolutely. It's the end of what wasn't working for us as a society. And we get to choose how to look at that. We can say, oh, it's all doom and gloom, because frankly, that's what most churches talk about. Not all. The majority of them talk about doom and gloom. By the way, church started out as a movement by Jesus. And so the humans have then created it into what we experience today. Good, bad, and different. It is what it is today. I believe that's all going to shift, again, because it really wasn't working for us. I'm going to go down a little rabbit hole here with churches. A lot of churches took and created their own narrative to create and instill fear into people, because that is control. Bottom line, in general, fear is a way to control people. And that is something that I have seen from multiple churches, which is why I do what I do, which is to create a new narrative of church. That's my bigger mission. And this is why. Because so many people are doom and gloom and, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? It's the end of the world. And what's the point of living? And, very frustrated. And what is this going to look like? What am I supposed to do? When in reality, it's exciting time, because we chose this time. Our soul chose this time and space and body and family, our spacesuit, to be here on Earth to create something new. And that's how I'm choosing to look at this time. So I'm excited. Am I, really uncertain about what this is going to look like? Absolutely. Does my soul probably know? Yeah. Absolutely. So think back in 2012, when it was the end of the Mayan calendar, when we heard this same narrative happening of, oh, it's the end of the days, it's the end of the world because it's the end of the Mayan calendar. The world is going to end. And it was so fear-based. And in a way, it did end. In 2013, and I just recently found this out from a friend, the new souls, or children who entered on Earth, who were born on Earth started in 2013, they came in awake spiritually. Think about that. Now, keep in mind, everything's based on consciousness. So our consciousness, our souls, chose a body in order to have this human experience. And there's different levels, different vibrations of consciousness. Some are for the highest good of others, of everyone, and some are not of the highest good. So humans created the narrative, the idea of good and bad, right or wrong. That actually doesn't exist when we look at things in the spiritual realm or from a fifth dimensional perspective. That's something that us humans, we created. Okay. So how wonderful is that in 2013, these new souls started to enter Earth at a higher vibration, already awake. They already were aware, and they already knew a lot of the things that people my age, I'm, Gen X in my 40s, had to relearn. It's not that we're learning something new that we didn't know. It's just a remembering or a relearning of sorts. And by the way, 2013, for those of you who don't know, this was the year that I stepped into the spiritual energy realm. This is when I had my spiritual awakening. And my life soon changed after that, very drastically, I might add. I ended up going to a conference, and it was one of those I knew I needed to attend, and I wasn't sure why, and I went by myself. And that is when I started to finally understand who God is, what God is, and how God is living within inside of me and everybody else. And that's how we're connected, or through these invisible energy cords. And for me, energy is similar to waves of the ocean. It's the harmony, it's the ebb and flow of life. It's the yin and the yang of life. It works together. And my entire relationship with God shifted. And by the way, if when I say God, that doesn't resonate with you, use divine source, use universe, use whatever's going to resonate with you. It's just a word, it's just a label. So, a lot of the work that my generation, and potentially the millennials, are putting in is to relearn, undo. And, some of my clients are angry about that. And that's okay. Work through the anger and then move forward. That's a part of the awakening process. As we start to shift energetically, on a different level, energy level, spiritually, and then our mind starts to understand and have this new understanding, or by the way, perspective is what that's called. Your body is always the last to shift. Your physical body is always the last to shift. That's why sometimes people say they have the spiritual flu, or they have ascension symptoms, because you do have body aches and it may feel like you're getting sick. And really what's happening is your body's just shifting here on earth to catch up with where your soul is already going. So everything is truly integrated, connected: mind, body, and soul, the spiritual piece, all of it. It is when you start to really do a deep dive, and if this is something you want to learn about, go to hearts-joy.com and let's, talk through on a free 30-minute discovery call of what offering suits best for you for where you are right now. When you start to understand how it's all connected, it totally is mind-blowing. Now, if you are struggling with thoughts of suicide, because those numbers actually have gone up, and I feel like that's something that no one is talking about, and I unfortunately think they're going to continue to go up. Please call this number. It's 800-273-8255 and ask for help. For those of you who have lost somebody to suicide, you too can call that number and have a conversation with them to help you through. And I'm also going to empower you and encourage you to go to a counselor to have this conversation as well. So many people are struggling right now. And a lot of times when we're in that space, we see no way out. You're in this dark tunnel, you have tunnel vision. It's a very low level vibration energy. It's a very heavy, and you feel alone. And by the way, I've been there years ago. After my divorce, I was there. And I had thoughts about it, and I got help. So know that you are not alone. If you are listening right now and you're struggling with those thoughts, know that you are absolutely not alone, and to call 800-273-8255 and get help. Please check in with all your friends as well, and family members, especially those who may seem like everything's great, or are really strong individuals. Check in on them. I understand that a lot of times on social media, it appears that everything's hunky-dory with me. I struggle too. We all do. It's a part of our human journey here on earth. And know that it's temporary. That feeling is temporary. And there's all sorts of different ways that we can help you. We aren't doing life alone either. And although you can't see them, the divine source and your angel guides are always, always, always with you. That is a part of the co-creation that you hear me talk about a lot. Every day we are creating. It's a matter of, are you creating what you do want, or are you creating what you don't want? And this is one of the things that I help people learn in the Live on Purpose course, is how to communicate with your angel guides, because they're communicating with you all day long. You have spirit guides, you've got all sorts of different guides with you all day, every day. And they communicate with you a lot during the day. And so to know what they are, understand that communication, communicate back with them, and have that two-way conversation, because they're here to help you. And what I have learned is that the relationship that you have with yourself really is what leads to the relationship with the divine source. That is the creator. In the Theta healing, we call it creator of all that is. That is the ultimate creator. And we can create as well. We have the power, and the divine source lives within us. And so often we've been told that the divine source, God, universe, lives outside of us, and that we've got to do this, that, and the other to get to them. And in my experience, that's just not simply the case. That's something that religion has created. And that's very, very different than my experience has been so far here on earth. So that's something too that we focus on during the Live on Purpose course as well, is really honing in on the relationship with yourself. And that is going to impact your mind and your body and your spirituality, all of it. We do a lot of mindset coaching during that course, because it's about perspective and how you look at things. Now, the second topic is Lionsgate energy. So the Lionsgate portal opening started July 26, 2021. It'll last through August 12th, 2021, with the energy peak on August 8th. By the way, August 8th is also the new moon. Now, what is this? What is this, and why do you care? You may be asking. So according to Star Child Global, quote, at this time, Sirius rises in the morning sky conjunct to your sun, and for this creative moment, your planet has two suns, a white gold sun and a blue sun, which is also Sirius. In this magical energy, the planet also aligns with the Lion's Gate in the constellation of Leo, and the royal star Regulus, also known as the heart of the lion, which ushers in a new cycle and timeline for Earth, end quote. And I'm going to drop the link for Star Child Global to this article so that you can read it. So a lot of people have heard about Lionsgate, this Lionsgate energy, and they think it's just one day. It's actually, the peak is on 8/8, August 8th. By the way, numerology, those numbers are abundance. It's a power number. It's a leadership. When you put an 8 on its side, it looks like the infinity symbol, and I call that harmony, okay? Now, according to Star Child Global, quote, many of you who were previously feeling stuck, feeling uncertain, unmotivated, will step up to your new responsibilities on the planet. The Lion's Gate will provide this tsunami of high frequency energy that will activate these transformations and lift you into the new earth higher timeline, end quote. It's time for you to truly embrace who you are and share your gifts with the world. Now you may be saying, what the heck does that mean, Carmen? We were given gifts on purpose for a reason. And so many of us, we either never use them or don't step into them, or they're a hobby. And we're so unhappy doing our job. That's our vehicle that sometimes turns into a career for some people. And a lot of people are so unhappy that they just want to pay their bills. And so they never really truly lived a life, a fulfilled life. And by the way, that was an old narrative that I received, is that make sure you got a job to help pay your bills, which is great. And I have a lot of gifts that I'd like to share with you to empower you to make a difference for others around you. So, and by the way, I read, there's a gal on TikTok I follow, and she had talked about how it looks like a lot of people aren't going back to work right now. And it's not that, they're actually shifting jobs. She said she's seen this many times before, where they realize that they're unhappy, they weren't fulfilled in their last job. I call it a job, it's just a vehicle. And they're finally realizing that it's time to do something different. And that's partly why we're seeing the gap that we're seeing right now. So something to think about. Now, it also means that it's time during this Lionsgate energy, it's really a time for us to let go of our old patterns so that we can ascend to this new frequency that's going to be coming into our bodies and on Earth. So it's not just people here around you. Think about the Earth and how many people are on Earth. So everybody is going to experience these energies. Now, the peak of the Lionsgate energy is during the new moon. And new moons are a time of manifestation and focusing on creating your intentions. Now, according to Yasmin Bolin, the key energies of this moon are communication, excess, romance, and prosperity. And I got to tell you, this morning I woke up and I was like, August is it. Like, there's just something about, this was before I started to do all of the research for what I was going to talk about tonight. And it's like, oh my gosh, I can feel it. I can feel August is it. There's going to be this wave of opportunity knocking on people's doors. There's going to be this windfall of money coming to people because they have done their work. They've shown up. They've let go of the baggage. Because when we let go of whatever we've been holding to so tightly on for so long, when we finally let go of that, now we've created this energy to receive the blessings, to get us to where Divine Source wants us to be. Are you starting to see how it's all connected? That's the divine harmony. Now, what can you do right now, no matter how you're feeling, no matter where you are? Meditate. Meditate. If you've never meditated before, if you say, well, I suck at meditation, get a new attitude. If meditation is a practice. It's like yoga. It's like anything. When you were a kid and you learned how to brush your teeth and you learned how to walk and you learned how to do all the new things. We're humans. We're going to have thoughts. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. And I will share with you that meditation changes things. Meditate. I also have Meditation Cafe available. You can go to the website, get started today. There's meditations out there for beginners. There's meditations out there for those who have been meditating for a long time. There's all sorts of apps. There's so much available today. So many resources. Go with whoever resonates with you. The second thing is to get into nature. Nature is healing. Healing. I could be here all night talking about nature. What I will say about nature is it's grounding. It is healing and it is grounding. If you can take a walk in nature, if you can go hug a tree, if you can just, I have been known to go where the ducks are, it's my spirit animal, and just sit on the grass and cry. And just release everything into Mother Earth, knowing that Mother Earth has me. Get out into nature. It also cleanses your energy field. The next thing you can do right now, no matter how you're feeling, is exercise, even if it's 15, 20 minutes a day. And by the way, if as I'm going through these, you're like, nope, don't have time, nope, this, nope, that, I'm going to say, get yourself a new attitude, because that is a defeatist attitude. And I promise you, you will get nowhere. There's so many excuses that we give ourselves, that people let us off the hook for, and we get to choose how to spend our 24 hours every single day. By the way, time doesn't exist. It does in the first, second, and third plane. We're in the third plane, by the way. Time really doesn't exist. Go outside and exercise. Even if you can stand up from your desk and just stretch and open up your heart chakra, do something to exercise. And the fourth thing you can do right now, no matter how you're feeling, is community. What do I mean by that? Connect with like-minded beings. Your soul craves connection. And it's how we're wired. You all have heard this. Brene Brown talks about it. It's how we're wired. And I say this because I was in an online event with Colette Barron-Reed this past weekend. Phenomenal event. I was curious to see how she would do it online with so many different time zones. And let me tell you, the breakout sessions, we all wanted more time together. And why? Why would I want more time with 3 other individuals who I've never met before in my entire life? Because we were all there for similar reasons. We all created some sort of connection through sharing our stories, vulnerability in those groups, in those breakout groups. We were like-minded beings, and we held space for each other and listened. There was no coaching, there was no helping. It was simply sharing what came up for you. Think about that. How often are we simply holding space for one another? Do you even know what that means or how to do it? And I'll be the first to tell you, sometimes I do get so excited that I jump in and I'm like, oh, I can help. And it was a great refresher for me this weekend to just sit back and just listen. As my father always says, y'all, we were born with 2 ears, listen twice as much as you talk. And I'll be the first one to tell you, sometimes I need to hear that. Even if you can get connected with an online group like the Ring of Fire community, connection is important. If you want to learn more about the Ring of Fire community, go to hearts-joy.com, look under offerings, all the information's there. That is one of the main reasons why I created that group, was because so many people came to me and said, I want community. I want connection with the people who are like-minded, who are in the spiritual realm, who are just learning. I want to learn. I want to learn new tools. Help me with my spiritual path. And P.S., it's work at your own pace. All right. So those are the 3 things, actually more than 3, that will help you during this time. And what I am learning is that uncertainty is a beautiful place for us to bloom and grow. Always uncertainty. Into the uncharted waters, parts unknown. So if you are interested in truly understanding how all of this is connected, understanding and how to communicate with your angel guides, who are they, and understanding why you're here. Why did your soul choose this time and this path? Learn your life path with numerology. Understand your soul's contract. Understand some of the maybe lessons or limitations that you chose to learn in this lifetime. And start to understand your purpose in life. The Live on Purpose course is for you. And the next one, which is the last one for 2021, is here in August. Be sure to grab your spot by August the 5th. If you guys have questions and you want to make sure it's right for you, get your free discovery session. We can have a chat about it via phone. And the beauty of the Live on Purpose course is it's all virtual. So it does not matter where you are. And how it works is everybody hops in by August 5th. I've got a private group for us on Mighty Networks where we'll converse. We'll find a great time to meet once a week virtually. It could be during the day, it could be in the evening, whatever works best for the group, once a week for 8 weeks. Now, there's a couple of different ways you can pay. You can pay, make 4 payments of $161.75, or if you pay in full, it's $627. Go to hearts-joy.com/live on purpose course, and all of the details are there. There's a lot of great things that the participants in that course get that's not even listed on the website. And the beauty of it is we get to co-create it together. So whatever it is that's wanted and needed from you during that time together, that's what you're going to learn, besides the framework that's already been created. All right. Thank you all so much for joining the Live in Divine Harmony podcast. I appreciate you. I would love to hear from you in the comments, those who are listening to the replay, those who are listening to the podcast. Let's chat. Sending you much love.